I have mitigated the fact that I have not changed in like a week and a half by putting on my onesie. Um, so this is another Doctor Who book. I think there was one, yeah, because Krillitane Storm was in the last one. Krillitane Storm was a good book. Uh, this book is called The Glamour Chase, and it's by Gary Russell, and it came out in 2010, which was like the highlight year for Doctor Who. Or at least New Who. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This show just makes me so tired now. So in the beginning of it, the Doctor saved some planet and was offered something called a glamour, which he refused. He told some little girl that when she's old enough to travel around the universe, she should call him. So, cool. The ship, the Exalted, is hiding from something called the Tan, with two N's, and the remaining conscious crew is going to go into stasis. No one really has names, everybody has a job and a number. The ship crashed and was supposed to bury itself. Um, it like it didn't bury itself, and some guys like put a wooden shell around it, and it was like, I think it was supposed to be like a religious thing. I don't know. Earthlings are weird. Centuries later, it's a myth until 1936 when a archaeologist digs it up, and we meet Oliver and Daisy. They're engaged. They're part of the Labor Party. Their village is blocked off by men in red who don't mind violence. Their village was also burned, as was the surrounding forest. It's that those guys in red are the Tan. The book did not tell me that. I just know that those are the Tan. Inside the ship, Commander 128 woke up. 3 is also awake. 2546-3 is she wakes up. 3 woke up 2 days earlier. 128 and 3 go outside. 128 is excited for the alien planet. The alien planet is ours. And being alien is all a matter of perspective, honestly. And 128 wants to like go out into the society until they figure out how to fix the ship. I think they all relatively look human. This is like an episode of Doctor Who when the budget was really low, so it takes place in England and with more human-looking aliens. Um, so the Doctor finally shows up, and he and Rory are literally in sheep poo. They don't know where Amy went. There are 2 guys. One of them's got a shotgun, and the Doctor talks really fast so that they can not worry about what he said. And he already knows that something's wrong. Amy turns up. She's particularly obnoxious in this book. Like, I like Amy, but sometimes the only reason I like her is because like sometimes she could be like really serious. And once she married Rory and was like actually committed to being with her husband instead of cheating on her fiance with the Doctor because she was terrified, uh she was very sunk into her place as the Doctor's friend really well, but like sometimes she could just be really obnoxious. And so they go to their host, whose name is Nathaniel. The city is too quiet. Oliver, the guy from before, he didn't die. He's a permanent guest of Nathaniel's because he's kind of obviously in shock. You know, he's watched his fiance die and his whole village. But so now the 3 of them are looking for stuff. They're supposed to be in Rio, but whatever. This is before the wedding, so Rory is positively annoying. They talk to Oliver, who's like fragile. He's got PTSD, so I mean, the Doctor's sonic screwdriver sets him off. Yeah. Daisy somehow comes back. I think she got cloned or something like that. I don't know. I got bored. Amy got kidnapped by a farmhand, and the species, the numbered ones, they're called the Weave, which is why they can clone people, but their clones aren't very good. And the Doctor now knows that since the Weave is one side, the Tan have to be the other side, because I guess they're enemies or whatever. I don't fucking know. They get rid of the Tan. They get Amy. The home and Nathaniel were all a glamour. Oliver Mark is by himself now. He had the glamour. People died. They fixed it as best they could, and they leave. It was one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who, in my opinion. So we're just gonna move on from that. It goes underneath Death Note. Anyway, a better book, Sun, which is The last book in the Giver series by Lois Lowry. Okay, this one's a little bit complicated from the last few books. So there's Claire. Claire is 14 and she is a birth mother. She lives in the dormitory with the others and is a vessel. The birth mothers are from the society that Jonas was a part of originally before he ran away. So they blindfold the mothers when they have their babies. They call them the product. And Claire had to have a C-section on her first baby. So they move her to the fish hatchery because she's got health issues. Her child was a boy. She wants to see her boy, so she goes to the nursery and like volunteers there so that she can interact with her baby. And yeah, she didn't go to the naming or placing ceremony because she didn't want to. Claire doesn't really feel like her life has any meaning. She has emotion and attachment, so that's bad for the society because she's depressed. And the child that she had is Micah from the first book, the baby that Jonas's dad brought home so that they could try and like calm Micah down because he was a fussy child. He is the baby that Jonas ran away with. So it's all coming for a circle. Claire talks to like some sailor dude and he's from a different community where they have like emotions and shit. So that's fun. She's calling her baby Abe, even though, like, yeah, whatever. So they go, now we reach the point where Abe is supposed to be released, and this is when Jonas would decided that he did not want to be the receiver, and B, did not want Micah to die because he was attached to him. Claire does not know what happened, but Jonas is missing, and so is the child. So the people on the boat take Claire away. She somehow ended up losing her memory. I think she got lost in the waves. So she lost her memory, and the only thing that she remembered is that her old society was bad and she did not want to go to them. So that's the end of part 1. Claire is found in the water by a different cruise ship because she got like washed up into the water. They take her to a village that's going to help her. Tight. There's some guy named Andras who like wants to sleep with her, but Claire's like, nah, dude, I'm fine. And Andras is like, shit, you right. The guys lately in all the books that I've been reading, all of the guys seem to have been drinking the Respect Women soda, and I'm just here for it. Claire is trying to remember, but she's also learning things that her community never taught her, like animals. Hang on. Also, the people that she's with talk kind of the way Maddie does, which I thought that was weird, or at least the way Maddie did before he ended up at the other village. So Claire helps one of the village women go to deliver a baby, and Claire freaks out because she remembers losing her baby, and now she knows that she has to find the baby. She had no husband, and no one wanted her around. Andra still wants her, but eh. So Claire has to climb out of the community because they're surrounded by a gigantic cliff. So someone in the community teaches her how to do it. Andras married someone else. I'm glad he's happy. Claire likes the community, but she knows she's got to leave. So after a while, she has to climb. She was told the entire path, even about the person on top who demands a price. That person is the trade master from Messenger, the one who fucked up Maddie's whole village and was making everybody crazy and shallow. That dude. So her son is now called Gabe. And he takes from her youth. That's the end of part 2. So now we meet Gabe, and Gabe is aware that there's an old woman watching him. It's Claire. We all know this. But anyway, he's kind of weird to go talk to her. He has a power that lets him learn people, and he lives in Maddie's village. And his parents, he wants to know his parents, but Jonas has no answers for him, because I don't know that Jonas knows who his mother is. So yeah, Gabe wants to go back to that community to find out, and it's like, you're not going to find out anything. In fact, they're probably going to just treat you terribly. So yeah. Jonas and Kira, the girl from Blue, I can't remember what the name of that book is, but it's Blue something. The girl from that book who had the bum leg, she and Jonas have children together, which is cool. He's a librarian now. That's nice. Jonas is worried about Gabe. Gabe's building a boat. Maddie died at the end of the last book. I somehow missed that, but he died and fighting the evil. Gabe was close to him, so he is kind of shaken by that. Claire doesn't really want to go see Gabe because she's like an old lady now, and him making a boat scares her for obvious reasons. She doesn't enjoy the trade that she made because it was cruel. Like, she's dying because she's an old lady, so she's dying. She told Jonas her story, and Jonas thinks that they should tell Gabe. So, yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Jonas is using his gift one more time to try and find the trade master, and Gabe has to go destroy him. Gabe somehow remembers Claire's love. Lois Lowry never goes into detail about how they have these powers. I don't know if it's magic. I don't know if it's the medication that they were taking. I don't know if it's a metaphor for people's emotions. I have no clue. So they get Gabe to believe the story, and they explain the trade master, and Gabe wants Claire, so he's gonna go destroy the trade master. Gabe finds him. He doesn't really plan to kill him, but the trade master tries to make a trade. So Gabe uses his gift of like knowing people to tell him, the trade master, how all of his gifts work out, because the trade master thought that the village was still all fucked up. Gabe is like, it's not, because people are nice and kind and shit like that. So that takes away the trade master's power and makes him a pile of rot. And then Claire is youthful again. Yay. I thought it was cute. The memory loss village that Claire was at, I think that was just another place. I don't think that's like a callback to any of the other books. And like, I like Claire, and for the same reasons that I like Jonas. And all of my guesses from the other books were correct. The fact that the leader is Jonas, the fact that Jonas and Kira were going to end up together, and the fact that somebody from the old village was going to come to this village and be like, hey, you ran away. Like, what? This book is also an example of why I think YA is a minefield, because these books are classified as YA, but I like them, and other YA books that have been written more recently I don't like. So something happened where there was a shift, and I don't know what that shift was, but yeah, cool.